Hi, I'm Kori Nicole, and I'm here with David Castañeda from the Umbrella Academy. They have officially dropped season 3 on Netflix. Oh my God, how are you feeling?
I feel good. You know, it's been a really nice morning.
Mhm.
The show came out today. I'm getting tons of really nice messages from friends and family.
Mhm.
Actually, nobody from my friends and family have messaged me, just a lot of fans.
Just a lot of family.
I'm just here to scold them. Actually, though, my sister did message me, but I'll give her a shout out, Tasha.
You believe that some fans have already binge watched the entire thing? Can you believe that already as soon as it dropped?
Yeah, I mean, I know that there was fans that waited till 3 a.m. where they were in East Coast time to watch it, and I'm so nosy, so I'll go and like read what they're posting, and they'll say like, I'm on episode 8. I need a nap.
No, no. So have you kind of like seen really good reviews so far? Like how are you like taking like everyone's, like comments and like adding you and just like, really excited?
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I mean, a lot of the reviews are really nice. Some of them are mean, but I appreciate that because you don't, it's like I like contradictions, and
Mhm.
I feel like if everyone likes something, it's either because it's really good or because it just has a very specific agenda.
Mhm.
And I feel like the ability to like something and have people hate that one thing that other people like, but then that thing that they really, really like, the other people hate.
Mhm.
So I really love that because it's like, oh, it's got a little bit of everything for everyone,
Mhm.
but I think it's fun. I mean, it's more, if I see a bad review, it's kind of funny, if I'm
It's
honest.
kind of funny. Yeah, because
So
your fan base is so huge. I'm like, I don't think I've ever really seen bad reviews about the Umbrella Academy.
no, I think it's decent, but also like if it's a bad review, like it'll just review like one of us, like that's really bad. And it'd be like kind of funny because like we're family. So it's like, it doesn't rely on just us. It's like there's a whole team of people that really put a lot of effort into it. So the backbone of like how proud we are of this show is like
Mhm.
immense.
Oh yeah, and I have to give you all your props because I, watched the series myself. So like after concluding season 2, I was like, are they serious? You just leave me with this information? Like you all had to come back out.
Oh, with Ben.
Yes, with the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
family, with the new family, like dad that had like an alien type of twist. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, how did you feel kind of leaving us off with that massive cliffhanger?
I mean, I was disappointed too because I really wanted to know exactly what happened. So, we had to wait almost a year
Mhm,
before we even read any scripts for season 3.
mhm,
Um, but the way it ended, it did feel like we had kind of struck gold
mhm,
with that ending because
mhm.
everybody was talking about it.
Everyone, no, you all did. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that was probably some of the best like plotting, just like writing script for that scene. So now that you all have officially dropped season 3, fans are finally gonna, get some answers to a few
Yeah.
things. Do you feel that season 3 really does it justice with answering all the questions from season 2 and kind of like explains exactly the cliffhanger?
I mean, it does. I think part of it does, which is why is there a different academy?
Mhm.
Um, but also I do realize that like when everyone watches it, everyone gets something different from it. So the questions that they might have are different than the questions that other people have. And also, we get the answers when we get the scripts.
Mhm.
So it feels very long ago to be like, oh, I'm confused. How does it, because when we are shooting it, we already know what's going to happen all the way to 10. And so when people are watching episode 2 or 3, they might be so lost, but we already know. So the new eyes of when the audience watches it, that's when it becomes, realize, oh yeah, no one really knows about why there's this little ball in episode 1 of season 3, and what does that do, and what does that even mean, and how did that even happen? And we know all these questions. um but yeah, I'm sure there's going to be people having a lot of questions about season 3, and if we get a 4, then I'm sure they'll answer them.
Oh, the 4, yes. We of course love Umbrella Academy, yes. So, and also we just learned so much about like your character, like Diego, like during season 2. And I really felt like we saw him in a different light. So do you feel that season 3 also like shows another aspect to him, like a different side? How did you feel?
I think so. I
Mhm,
mean, he kind of gets a little present,
mhm,
a little present that drops on him, and now he has to understand what it is to be a father.
Mhm.
And the only way he can do that is to obviously be able to kind of understand that his father's behaviors don't correlate to who he is, and how to break away from that. And that's one of the biggest things that I learned even for myself, which is like, when things are very, very important, you start realizing what other things don't really matter, you know? And if you have a son or if you have a child, you realize that like the anxiety you would get about how people think of you goes away. You're more worried about how your baby's going to be, or if they're going to eat,
Mhm.
you know, or if their diaper's wet.
Exactly. The more serious things, I'm like, yeah, the more
Yeah,
like,
the more serious. Yeah. I took it down. I took it down a level now, but yes.
yeah. So where do you, when you're like, preparing to portray for this role, where do you draw inspiration from? Like, how do you exactly like get into the zone of the character?
Well, you kind of start seeing the same colors of what the character sees, or vice versa. Like you start seeing the world in a certain way. So then when the character comes, you just apply those things into the character. And so there, you know, obviously, because there is a world and that where I don't want kids, and I really have a fight against it. And so I bring that into the character of Diego. And then now you're seeing a different side of Diego, not this warmth, resistant, but also secretly really wanting to have a higher purpose Diego. You're seeing a spiteful one. And so in terms of drawing inspiration, it's much more about like what the world is telling me on the outside, and in my own personal life, that, you know, I use it as an excuse to um uh you know, to put it into characters.
Mhm. What is one like personal like thing do you feel like you grab from, if you can share?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, I think our existence as humans, you know, is like we want to procreate,
Mhm.
you know. So I do feel like, you know, being a father is a dream of mine. And so to have Diego not want one, but me want one, it's very easy to put that Diego actually really wants one, but all of the scenes go against it, you know.
Mhm.
And I think that makes a more interesting character when what they're saying is opposite of what they're actually feeling.
Mhm. What do you think was your favorite episode to film?
Of this season,
Yeah, the new season.
there's a scene in the elevator with Klaus and Stan that I feel like it was probably, you know, when I read it, I thought it was funny, but once we were doing it, that's when it was became really funny. Um,
Mhm.
because of just the kinetic energy in it. I'm not sure if you've seen that episode,
Mhm.
but it is really fun. And I'm not going to tell you why, because I don't want to ruin it for you.
You don't read it? Okay. So how would you describe, like, you all said like you really felt the energy when filming that scene. How is it, filming with your other like cast members, like on the like the set, or just with different scenes that you all are assigned to each other? Is it overall like similar experiences, or do you kind of have like, your favorite little moments with each one?
Well, I mean, everyone is different.
Mhm.
And when the really thing about the real nice thing about us working for 3 years now and known each other for almost five is that we understand the parameters of like when one is having fun and joking around, or when one is in isolation because they want to prep for a scene or they want to do something like that. And so, you know, whenever we're shooting, you know, every time it's chaotic. It's a lot of chaos, but controlled chaos. I think it's the best way to do it. Where a lot of people are talking, especially when we do the big group scenes, they kind of have to shut us up, just so we can get the take going. And if someone gets the giggles, I mean, we'll never finish the scene, because Emmy specifically, she always gets the giggles.
Always.
Always. It's a little annoying sometimes because you're like, dude, I'm trying to cry right now. Why are you giggling? It's like, I'm really trying to make this serious right now. And
Mhm.
you know, my pain is your laughter.
That's an interesting way to put it. I wouldn't have thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Um, what do you feel like is just one of your favorite moments, just stepping away from season 3 now that it's finally like out, like it's finally done, like you feel proud, of it. What is just something that will always like be with you from the scene? I mean, from the season.
From the season, that we were all in lockdown we were all following these very strict COVID protocols, and we were given a very dense storyline, or just in general 10 episodes to film in over a span of like 7.5 months.
Mhm.
And a lot of people were away from their families, and a lot of sacrifices were made to get this show done.
Mhm.
And so I think there's a different level of understanding within ourselves about how proud we are that we got through it together, and that we have something to share, that we can look back as we get older to be like, damn, we really did that. Yeah.
It's like an infinite moment. Like y'all always have that. I love those. You just like put it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, when I'm older looking at the cemetery, like, yeah, we did that.
Yeah, we did that. We
Yeah.
we
Like
love
the
our
like the like the Save It Private Ryan, beginning of like the old man there, and then he just
yeah.
morphs into like a younger, and it'll just be like a younger Mexican Matt Damon.
Younger. Just because I know that fans are being so receptive to the new season, of course. Do you have any way that are you continuing to, like stay engaged with them on social media? It's like, what is the best way for them to like get your attention, or like, do any like fan trivia or anything like that?
Um, I don't know if I don't know. I mean, usually it's not so much that I'm like, I really love when I see this from fans.
Mhm.
What I do enjoy is just like when people connect with it. And I will say this, like the only time I really respond to these things is when, like, if like a letter comes along and it has something meaningful that they have to say. Not so much that like, oh, I determine what's meaningful, but if they really are being vulnerable to what they're expressing about how they feel about the show,
Really
and when we really
authentic.
connect to it, that to me is the best kind of form of medicine, to feel like, oh, what we're doing isn't vain, is there is something really therapeutic for when people want to watch it. And that it's kind of getting people by, and maybe hopefully helping them understand, dynamics of siblings, and
Mhm.
how, even though there must be anger or some sort of disagreement between families, there's still love at the end.
What is just another way that even like for fans, if they want to actually know like questions about like a career, because of course you have like fans that look up to you and like your future and like where you're going and the work that you have done, like what are just some like, advice that you would give any up and coming like actors or aspiring creators in the business?
You can dream as much as you want, you can ponder as much as you want, but the real thing that we must do is take action. And sometimes it's what's hard is when you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't do it, and that's okay, right? But we tend to have two reactions from it, which is like, whether we beat ourselves up to the point of feeling self-loathing, and so then you really don't get anything done. But what really happens at the end is like you just stop trusting yourself that you're going to do things,
Mhm.
and that's the worst part to do. So I really do believe that anyone that really wants to get into this career, it's more about action, and putting your thoughts into action regardless of what the outcome might be. And that's the most important thing, because if you're looking at going into this business to get a result,
Mhm.
that's not really what this business is about. You're going to get chewed up pretty fast. You're going to get discouraged really fast. So always be proactive in what you're trying to do, whether it's, learn about plays, learn about scripts, go to, take a class, but always be constantly um, feeding your artistic needs, no matter, whoever comes across from you. You have to prioritize that.
If you are able to say, what are just some next projects that we can look forward to seeing you in, or like what are you currently working on, or is there anything that you like, new genre that you might want to do?
Yeah, I have a film that comes out soon, I think in the next few months or so. I'm not sure the exact dates, but it's called Most Dangerous Game. It's with Christoph Waltz. Um, and that's a good one. I'm very excited about that. And then I have this other project called Poker Face with Ryan Johnson and Natasha Lyonne and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I don't know when that comes out, but that's on Peacock. And yeah, very excited about that one also. So those are, oh, and I have an Audible project that I wrapped not too long ago with, I don't know if you know Laz Alonso.
That's Alonso.
Yeah, with him. That's it, I think.
I'm very excited for all of this to come out
Oh,
because I really do love your performance and like the series. And I'm so glad that you were able to like join us again. So I'm Kori Nicole, Voice of Us TV. And thank you so much, David, for joining us. And, you know, guys, make sure to watch Umbrella Academy Season 3 on Netflix.
yes.
Official
Season
premiere
3,
today.
season 7 coming soon.
Season 7.
Just kidding.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
Where is the buzz?
Oh, yeah.
Where is the buzz? You said
We used to be a
was
singer.
mine,
Oh,
mine.
where is the buzz?
Ooh.